Welcome back, folks. This is episode 72. It's about your paycheck brings you, it's about people today. We love doing this one once a month. Before we get into it, or we're trying to shoot for once a month, but before we get into it, what's good, Walt?
Man, I'm all good, man. It just seems like life is flying, time is flying, bro.
Holy
It's
moly.
just
Yep.
like everything's just coming in fast and heavy and stuff, man. So just trying to take some time out. I love doing these type of shows like the It's About People because
Yeah.
like we really talk about, the people side of things. So it's a good break
Yeah.
from the normal stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed.
How
It's a
about you,
nice
man? How you
break.
doing?
Man, same here, bro. It's a lot. Just when you think you can't handle anymore, get more, right?
Yeah.
And what's that old saying? You can't complain about what was it? You can't complain about your full plate if your goal was to eat,
Yeah.
something
Okay.
like that.
Don't complain about your plate being full if your goal is to
If the
eat.
goal
Yeah,
was to
man.
eat, exactly. So I think I love the subject but before we get into that, let's talk about a little bit of news. What's going on in the world? What's going on? What you thinking? What's on your mind?
Well, this is around I guess we usually call it the pay horn, so it's around the people
Around the
horn, I
people
guess.
horn.
But look, recently they had the No Kings protests around the country.
I didn't even know
Um,
that what that was until my daughter, she was a little nervous. She was like, "Oh, I don't want to be outside like that. There's a protest going on today." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I had
yeah,
to
it was
look
all
it
over the
up
place. Yeah,
before I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Let me look it up." And sure enough, yeah, it was a protest going on around the country.
yeah,
Um,
man. Like, look, I think no matter what party affiliation you have, where you stand at politically, there were people from both sides in the middle out there protesting because they're just not feeling Trump. They're not feeling the current administration. So that happened. Unfortunately, there were some politicians in Minnesota, I believe, that were assassinated.
oh my God,
Yeah, like some right wing.
no pun intended, folks. A
Oh,
Freudian slip.
yes, some right wing person assassinated some two Democratic people and attempted to assassinate another two Democratic government officials as well. So yeah, man, it's crazy, man. So I know that's kind of heavy. So then also, tonight is the NBA Finals.
Is it game 7?
Game 5. It's
Oh
tied
dang.
2-2.
Oh
Yeah, man.
man,
So by the
it's a
end of
good
this
one.
week, we may have a champion.
Well, yeah,
So it might go 7 games, and then also I think tomorrow is Game 6 of
the
the
Stanley
NHL
Cup.
Finals, the Stanley Cup. The Panthers are leading 3-2 in that series right now, so
Dang.
we'll see, man. They're trying to repeat, so they're trying to go back to back, so we'll
Wow.
see. So that's
Amazing.
all I had, man. What about you? What do you have?
I went out and I was like looking for news, right? And doing
Mhm.
research. And I said, like always, it's like bad news, just bad news, bad. And I was like, wait a minute. I know there's some good news networks out there.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I looked up good news, and this one is good news, literally goodnewsnetwork.org.
Good.
And I just went scrolling through there. There's a ton of good stuff in here. One of them is some salvage materials and appliances from 100-year-old Baltimore homes offered back to the community for free.
Mm,
Yeah, there's little things like there's a ton of stuff in here that's really cool. Arizona teen returns a lost wallet containing $300. He gets an electric bike that he's been saving for.
nice,
You
man.
know what I mean? Little things.
That's good. That's a good way to like counter what I brought because I brought some heavy stuff and
No, well, it's just one heavy, but it's relevant. Like I
yeah,
think
yeah,
people
man.
need to be aware, like it's key relevancy. Yeah. What
Yeah.
else we got here? Let me see one more here. FBI recovers paintings missing for 40 years from New Mexico Art Museum. That's dope. Yeah, there's a bunch of good stuff. There's good news in the world. Ooh, this one I caught my eye. A young welder builds a clever lockbox for packages to combat porch pirates taking his deliveries.
Oh,
I
nice.
had this idea a very long time ago, and I think it's gonna I
Blow
think
up.
it's gonna become a thing where
Mhm.
people put some boxes out there, and already. Well, Amazon tried to solve for it by doing like you can let people like deliver to your trunk or open your garage. Like you can give Amazon. I don't know if
Mhm.
they still do it, but they give you garage access to combat some of the porch pirate things.
Right.
I had the idea when they were talking a lot about drones going to. I don't really hear much about drone delivery
Yeah.
anymore, right? But if that
Yeah.
ever becomes a thing, then I think houses can build something like at the top of their house,
Hmm.
right? Like a chimney, and then the drone can just drop it in, and it'll be
Yeah.
like not dropping into the neck, but dropping it,
No.
and then it'll kind of ease down. However, that
w-
can get solved for.
Wouldn't that be cool? Because like I think you could build that to the point where if a package is gonna weigh, because look, it's gonna have to probably
It's
be
have a
some weight
limit.
inventory,
Yeah, it's
right?
gonna have a limit.
So
Sure.
look, and you'll be able to tell. Maybe you can make it so sophisticated that you can, if something is moving that's alive, whether it's an animal or a human that's trying to get in there, it like can just
It
lock them in there
stops.
and be like,
Right.
lock them in there and be like, oh, now you're trapped.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
And then
They
police
need
come and
ways
then you're like,
to.
hey, yep,
Yeah, nothing live, nothing
yeah,
breathing. There's gonna be some sensors in there and stuff. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, you don't want no possums in your house.
Word. And there's probably, and I'm thinking about drones. There's probably gonna, they're already. Oh, here's a story. I think it's Tesla is doing robo taxis in Texas,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So it's coming. Like the automated cars and stuff like that. It's coming. It's
Yeah,
coming.
man. The
And
car,
then
Jetsons, soon enough.
yeah, probably, man. And that's it, man. So today's topic is where you had it. So steps to overcome adversity, right?
Yep. Overcoming adversity, stories of resilience, man. And we're
There
gonna
you go.
share different stories. We might even share some of our own personal stories, to add in here, or whatever. But yeah, I'll go ahead and let you
Absolutely.
start first, man.
Yeah. So when I started, preparing for it, it's really crazy because, well, like it so often happens for us on the show. We don't talk in advance for some subjects we do, but a
Mhm.
lot, like I'll know what's coming, but we don't we prepare separately, right?
Yep.
Even though if we know what the subject is coming, this I was not caught off guard, but I didn't prepare till today, and I was like, wait a minute. It immediately made me think of this author, Carol Dweck,
Mhm.
and she writes a book named Mindset, the new psychology of success.
Mhm.
And what she talks about is the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read a little excerpt. There's a blog out there and that'll be in the show notes that kind of breaks it down, a little summary of it. I'm going to read a bit about it. But before that, what was really interesting is that I recently read about this concept in two different books. One is the Payroll Minds, the Bart's book, what is it? How to Build Influence and Make Impact as a Global Payroll Professional.
Hey, this is William Tincup, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Practitioner Corner podcast. It's a wonderful podcast about the journey, the paths of how practitioners, both HR and TA, kind of go from high school, college, all the way to where they are right now. Some of the things that they've learned, how they've been successful, people that thrive around them, etc. It's a fun podcast. You'll love it. You'll learn from it. Subscribe to it. Thanks.
The Payroll Mindset. That's the name of that book, right? And then the other book was the Mark Mears book that I keep like.
Yeah.
I'm always reading multiple books. It's not a brag. It's just it's probably a problem. I don't know. ADD. Just it's just whatever. I keep a few things anyway. Pick Mark. I'm almost done with Mark's book, and I picked it back up. And what do I turn into? He talks about the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset.
There you go.
So I was like, okay, so let me read a bit of this for folks so we can and it's a great segue into what we're doing. So the Carol Dweck, and I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it's Dweck, Dweck, makes me think of Dweck, Greg,
Yeah.
N-I-C-E. Anyway, summary of growth and fixed mindsets. There are two mindsets we can navigate life with: growth and fixed. Having a growth mindset is essential for success. In this post, we explore how to develop the right mindset for improving your intelligence.
Yeah.
Carol Dweck studies human motivation. She spends her days diving into why people succeed or don't, and what's within our control to foster success. Her theory of the two mindsets and the difference they make in outcomes is incredibly powerful. As she describes it, her work bridges developmental psychology, social psychology, and personality psychology, and examines the self conceptions or mindsets people use to structure the self and guide their behavior. Her research looks at the origins of these mindsets, their role in motivation, self regulation, and their impact on achievement in interpersonal processes. Her inquiry into our beliefs is synthesized in the book Mindset: The New Psychology of Success. The book takes us on a journey into how our conscious and unconscious thoughts affect us and how something as simple as wording can have a powerful impact on our ability to improve. Dweck's
Yep.
works shows the power of our most basic beliefs, whether conscious or subconscious. They strongly affect what we want and whether we succeed in getting it. Much of what we think we understand of our personality comes from our mindset. This both propels us and prevents us from fulfilling our potential.
Yep.
CL, what else I want to what are the I think this is actually an excerpt from the book. It says, what are the consequences of thinking that your intelligence or personality is something you can develop as opposed to something that is fixed, deep-seated trait? So the two mindsets, there's a nice little pictograph here on this blog. So, anywho, your view of yourself can determine everything. If you believe that your qualities are unchangeable, the fixed mindset, you will want to prove yourself correct over and over rather than learning from your mistakes. In Mindset, Dweck writes, if you have only a certain amount of intelligence, a certain personality, and a certain moral character, well, then better prove that you have a healthy dose of them. It simply wouldn't do you to look or feel deficient in these most basic characteristics. I've seen many people with this one consuming goal of proving themselves. In the classroom, in their careers, and in their relationships, every situation calls for confirmation of their intelligence, personality, or character. Every situation is evaluated. Will I succeed or fail? Will I look smart or dumb? Will I be accepted or rejected? Will I feel like a winner or a loser? These things are culturally desirable. We value intelligence, personality, and character. It's normal to want this. But changing our beliefs can have powerful impact. The growth mindset creates a powerful passion for learning. Why waste time proving over and over how great you are when you could be getting better?
Yep.
So, wait, this last little excerpt and I'll be done. So it says, the passion for stretching yourself and sticking to it, even or especially when it's not going well, is the hallmark for growth mindset. This is the mindset that allows people to thrive during some of the most challenging times in their lives.
There you go, man. And
Yeah,
look, and that's the perfect segue into some of the
exactly.
stories that I'm going to share,
That's
and
yep.
then even into our own, right? So the first example that I have here is from a person named Lauren Manning. She was a 9/11 survivor and burn victim. So,
Wow.
she was engulfed in flames of the North Tower and suffered burns over 80% of her body. So despite the grim survival odds, she underwent 18 months of intense rehab and returned to rebuild her life, eventually becoming an author of the book called Unmeasured Strength, a motivational speaker and an inspiration to millions.
Wow.
Another one is Anthony Robles. He's a champion wrestler who was born with
Robles.
one
I saw
Robles.
the
Okay.
movie.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And he was a
Yep.
champion wrestler born with one leg. So, that's a serious physical challenge in competitive wrestling. And he became a NCAA champion and the
Yep.
subject of a film called Unstoppable, like Brian was talking about,
Yep.
which
Good flick.
documented which documented his journey, which was full of determination and intense training, and of course his family support.
My girl J-Lo played the mom.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
And then the last one I have is Sam P Jola, who's a war survivor turned mentor. He endured Sierra Leone's civil war, later
Wow.
finding safety through tennis.
Oh, wow.
He transformed his life, eventually becoming a professional player, coach, motivational speaker, and author, using his platform to empower disadvantaged youth.
Wow. There's I wonder if you were at Charter at this point. Did you go were we at Charter at the same time when we went to go see a speaker, but he had no arms and no legs?
Yes. Yep.
I mean, a full family. This guy has no
Whole
arms, no
family.
legs.
Yep. Whole
Mm,
family, wife, kids,
Yeah,
motivational speaker. Yep.
motivational speaker. Of course. I mean, what else
Yeah.
should you be at that point? I mean, not
Yeah.
to laugh, but what I'm laughing about is that people complain about their lives and, oh man, I got to drive this car, and I live here and I do this, my job this, and thing
Yeah.
like this dude ain't got no arms and legs, man. Like,
Yeah.
and he's making people look silly, and it's all about that growth mindset.
Yeah. Just think about the things that he's probably heard all his life, the jokes, the bullies, everything that he was ever told in his life, and how strong he had to be in
Yep,
order not to like let what people said get to him and actually become his thought process. You have
exactly.
to you had to be, a brick wall. He had to be a brick wall when it came to those things,
Absolutely.
right?
Yep.
So look, here are some steps to overcoming adversity. And you want to do the first three and I do the last
Yeah,
three?
no doubt. All right. So the first one is acknowledge and accept. Recognize the reality of your situation. Like Manning admitted, I made the decision in those moments to live,
Yeah.
right? Recognize the reality of your situation. And, yeah, yeah. Oh, number two. I'm sorry. I'm just I'm like really like absorbing
Yeah.
and, this is all very relevant to me. So, yeah, set clear goals. Number two, Robles aimed for NCAA championship success, while Jola focused on tennis as a way forward, giving structure to their recovery.
Yeah.
Number three, use support systems, families, friends, coaches, mentors, therapists. All play integral roles in healing and growth. Like they say, it takes a village for, I think that never stops. Like
Yeah.
we need
Go through
community,
life. It's
right?
just
Yeah.
yes. It's just not with kids. Like I
No,
said,
it's
right?
with human growth, right?
Yeah.
You can't, what they say, no person is an island.
Yeah.
Right? We were made to interact and to
Yes.
have community. I get
That's
some
right.
people are not social and, they don't know, but they,
Welcome to the Human Role, your go-to podcast where HR and payroll collide with innovation. I'm your host, Tiana Neal, and every month I'm diving deep with industry experts and change makers, bringing you real talk insights, practical tips, and fresh takes you won't hear anywhere else. Whether you're a leader, practitioner, or just curious about the latest HR and payroll trends, I've got you covered. Ready to roll with the best? Tune in for fresh perspectives, actionable tips, and the knowledge you need to roll forward with confidence. Subscribe now and let's transform the way you work.
you still need, especially in times like this,
Look,
it's important to lean on the people that love you.
look, you don't have like there's some people that have tons of friends, what it looks like from the outside, tons
Hmm.
of friends, and there are people like myself who have a smaller circle
Yep.
of friends and advisors and stuff like that you can count on in life. So no matter where you fall at, you still need people. And then if you're looking at other people's lives, that's a way you can get yourself depressed and
Oh
also
yeah. Yeah.
like
No,
you
you
try to
can't.
compare your life to somebody else's, like, oh, they have a bunch of friends. Not everybody that's in their circle might truly be their friend.
Exactly.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? So
For sure.
look, so continuing on, you want to break down into actions, right? So what does that mean? You take tiny daily steps. So it was the rehab exercises for Manning, the wrestling training for Robles, right? And reframe the narrative to means change your mindset, right? Transform that adversity into strength and purpose. So like Jala channeling war trauma into youth mentorship, he turned that around, right?
Wow.
And made it his purpose in life to like, hey, I'm gonna help people out because I needed help as a youth. So I don't want anybody else to go through that. And then lastly, you want to reflect and learn. So you want to build that resilience, and understand that it's not just about surviving. It's about integrating what you learned from those situations into your life's next chapter. That means
Mhm.
you're always having a continual growth mindset. You're
Yep.
always trying to find a way to get better.
Yep.
Like, you look at the great athletes like Michael Jordan, like Derek Jeter, all those different people that were ever considered great, they always strove to be better at something. Like, I could do this better, I could do that better. But they always had a growth mindset, right? So that's what you wanna
Mhm.
keep, and so and then we're gonna talk about some of our own stories. I don't know if there's anything that you wanna share at all, but you wanna start this off, next section off about how we can go over our own stories?
Yeah. So it's how you can introduce your own story. Begin with a brief mention of your challenge when I lost, right? To help you think of, have you already, maybe you've already overcome something. You don't even know it.
Yeah,
You don't even think of it, right? Because some people are naturally growth minds, have a natural growth mindset, and they don't even realize it, right?
yeah.
Because it's second nature to them. So, as a method here, it's called the STAR method, where situation, what was the adversity? Task, what you needed to overcome, action, what you did, and the result, how it shaped. So
Mm,
for me, what my life has been a never ending, or a lot of I've had to overcome a decent amount of adversity at different
mhm,
levels. But
yeah,
I think the most recent was in the last year and change. I
yeah.
really got to a place where I stopped dreaming. I got depressed. I was just caught in a rut, and I had to get myself out of that. And now I'm at like the tail end of getting out of it. I feel better. I can dream again. I believe that I can do the things I want to do still. I had gotten to a point where I was like, oh, I'm too old. I miss my window, right?
Yeah,
I talk about this all the time, and it's not true. It's not true. We are actually the best at, you know what I mean? We're at an amazing point right now in our
yeah.
lives where we have the experience under our belt, the
We're on the launching
wisdom.
pad. Yep.
We're
The
on the
countdown has
launch
begun.
pad. I
Yep.
love that. That's right. That's exactly right. We're in the
Yep.
countdown. That's right.
Yep.
So, the situation, the adversity was I got depressed. I needed to overcome that depression. What I did was I knew I was depressed. I was just kept pushing. I just kept
Yep.
pushing out. I didn't know how, I didn't know why, you know what I mean? But I just kept pushing out. What's up?
And another thing that you did, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, you talked about it to
Yes.
me or whoever you confided in. You
Yep.
talked to someone about those things in order to
Yep.
help you get through.
Honestly, bro,
Because a lot,
it was mainly you.
yeah, because a lot of
Yeah.
times we hold those stuff in, like
And my therapist.
sometimes, yeah, like a lot of times we just hold those things in and
Yeah.
we just try to churn and get through those ourselves. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? So like, I just wanted to add that in there, and then I'll
Yeah.
let you finish, and then I'll share my story.
No, and that was it. And then it says like I'm going through the star, thing method here. So the action, what I did is, I just kept pushing, kept reading. I kept doing the things that I knew would eventually get me there, even though I didn't feel like it was getting me there quick enough.
Yeah.
And then how it shaped me. Oh man, I am so much better for it. I am at what I'm calling my renaissance, my rebirth.
Yeah.
And it's not only in payroll, it's in every facet of my life. I'm at a rebirth point, and man, I'm excited.
There you go, man.
What
Thank you for
about you,
sharing
man?
that.
Yes,
And
sir.
so for me, I'm gonna share a situation that I'm currently going through right now. And it's one of feeling like almost stuck, right? And battling the mindset, right? So the adversity for me, and look, adversity for you could be something that you're actually physically going through. It could be a mental thing that you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could,
Financial,
could be
mental,
financial,
emotional.
whatever the situation is, right? So for me, it's a emotional, mental thing that I'm going through right now, and I'm feeling like, on my job, I haven't had a raise in about 3 years, and feeling stuck in that aspect, and the business part, like some of those, like I see the trajectory that we're on, but I also
Hmm.
feel in my head sometimes feel like, man, like why can't we just just
Hmm. Hmm.
break through that ceiling, right? And so the task that I'm doing, And what I need to overcome is like just talking to people about it and challenging those thoughts when they come and calling them out in the moment instead of letting them plant seeds and fester. And
That's right.
and that's through being self-aware. So like the action that I take is like being self-aware and just making sure that I don't be so hard on myself. Like, so even if I feel like, down one day, I try to push through it and let it go. Right. And how it's shaping me is shaping me to trust the process more. Like I grew up in church, but I've always had a struggle with faith,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because of stuff I've been through in my life,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's religious or just in life in general, I've had a struggle with my faith. And Brian will tell you, like, there's sometimes that I have little certain gifts and stuff like that, that I can just sense stuff and see stuff or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
Brian's like, "Oh, trust that gift."
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and in life has just messed me up so much that I don't even trust that a lot of
Yep.
times. And so I'm learning to let go and just, like they say, let God, right?
Let go and let God. Yep.
Yeah, right. And so that's shaping me to build my trust more. And I'm currently in that process right now. And it's hard. And like the reason I shared that is because not for a sub story or anything like that, but some of you are going through that right now where you're being tested financially, emotionally, physically, whatever it is. And it might be on more than one front, right? And use this method, STAR method, to try to figure out a way to at least give yourself some relief in some way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like allow people to embrace you and allow yourself to be embraced. Allow people to help you, especially those that you can definitely rely on and have been in there, been there for you, true friends and stuff like that. Allow those people to help you out to the things, right? Because we all need it. Like Brian said earlier, life is made for community, not for a solo journey,
Yeah.
right? If you went
It's
through
tough.
life solo, that's gonna be a lonely
Yeah.
journey.
For sure, man. For sure. Thanks for sharing that, man. It's it's
Yeah,
just it's we gotta keep going. Like you just got to. I had a boss that said the light at the end of the tunnel is not a train. Got to keep pushing through, right? Got to keep
yeah,
pushing through, and I think people will definitely understand, and it's that growth mindset. It's that
yeah.
growth mindset. Got to keep the growth mindset.
Yes, sir.
I heard something recently. Fake it till you make it. Nope, don't fake it till you make it. Face it till
Face it
you
to you
make it.
like it.
I like that. Face it till you make it. And then I think that's what I did, right? Like I faced it
Yeah,
till I
bro.
made it through.
But think about it. Like if you are imagine this, you're at a wall, you're hitting this wall with a sledgehammer, and you've hit it 99 times, and you're just like, you know what, this wall's never gonna fall. But it's that 100th
That
time
hundred
or
time.
the next time, or
That's right.
even if it's the 105th or 110th time, even if
Got
it's the
to keep going.
200th time,
Got to keep
like
going.
you just gotta keep hitting until that wall breaks, man.
Got to. You got to. There's so many stories out. That's why those movies are so good, uplifting, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can do it too. And it's true.
Yeah.
It's true, man. It's true. So I urge everybody, man, keep going, keep pushing, keep growing, keep learning. But good gosh, don't stop. Keep going.
Yes,
It's
yes.
worth it. Life is worth it, man. It's tough, but it's worth it. Absolutely worth it. So
So
hey, I love that. Go ahead. Yeah. Read the
so the question of the day, right? Who should you discuss your struggles with?
So that's a and threw me off like because I jumped down and I read that and I started thinking about it while we were still talking here and I was like, wait, wow, it's a good one. I'm gonna say that I think if honestly I think you start with a therapist,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
If you can,
Okay.
because people in our families, bro, like they have their own agenda.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're not always going to give you the right answer. You talk to some of your elders and they got some old craziness
Yes.
that they're going to say,
And
put some Windex on it, you'll be all right. You know,
depending on what situation you're talking about, there
yeah,
may be some biases, right? They
exactly.
may be like they may not want to tell you like, oh, you were wrong in this situation. You could have done
Right.
something better in that situation
That's right.
instead of coming to your defense. Oh, that's them. It's like, you know
Yep.
what I'm
I'll tell you, I don't think my wife listens to re-listens to the show. She usually hear when I'm recording. So she does listen to it, but not, but I have trouble telling her the truth about.
Hello, I'm Ruth Thomas, host of Comp and Coffee, where we break down what's next in the world of compensation management. From pay transparency to performance alignment, we explore how businesses are rethinking compensation to drive impact, equity, and growth. So if you're shaping the future of pay at your organization, grab a cup and tune in. Listen on the Work Defined Podcast Network.
What she's doing wrong. You know what I mean? I hold back because eventually she gets there on her own, and and it's never gotten, and it's never gotten to a place where it's hurting anyone or herself. And if it did, then I would have to say something.
Yeah.
But I have trouble with that. It's something I bring up with the therapist, and like, you just got to work through those things. But my point is, that's why you got to start with It's unpartial. They're not a non-partial party.
Yeah.
They're going to give you honest
They
feedback.
should be.
They should. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. And and that's where what we're talking about, what you were talking about, is trust. Trust those feelings. Trust that gut. If you feel like your therapist is not a good energy, is not right, move on. Go find another one. You know what I mean?
Find a therapist that's right for you.
Right. And you should talk to a few different. If you've never done it before,
Yeah.
talk to a few of them in the beginning and say, hey, I'm just kind of interviewing,
Because a good therapist is going to challenge your thought patterns and challenge those beliefs that you have and challenge you to grow. A good therapist should do that, right?
Yep.
And if I can just segue in here, you took the words out of my mouth. Talk to somebody you trust, whether that's a therapist, a friend, a true friend that you know won't have your business in the streets and like, oh, guess what Brian told me?
Yep.
He told me it's in this and that and this.
Yep.
And now the whole street knows.
Yep.
Like, find somebody that you can actually confide in and that will give you that space, that runway for you to listen, to be heard. And then, will also give you, if you're looking for advice, they'll give you like good advice, good sound advice. Because like Brian said, like, we all have our beliefs. Like, I think a certain way and Brian thinks a certain way. So I may give Brian a certain advice on things about how I see things, and he may give it his way.
Yep.
Right. But that may not be what either of us need in that moment.
Exactly.
Brian may need somebody to like chin check him and be like, you effing up.
Yep.
And I may need that in some moments, like Brian has done that for me. Well,
likewise. No, again, but look, and that's why we get along well. We always kind of giving different examples, man. I actually got a really good compliment, and now that I think back on it, how can I say this? I am a trusted advisor because someone recently told me, I'm asking you for help because I know you're not going to put my business in the street. And that's why I came to you.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, wow, no doubt. And that person was right. Like, that's not my style. You know what I mean? There's my family hates it sometimes because I don't talk about things like you never said that. Why should I have? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the way I get down. So, and this is just making me think of it and like, oh, that's why they come to me for help, because they know I'm not going to spread the word of, oh, look what I did for this person. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, that's awesome. And that's how it should be, and that's how it should be. Unfortunately, some folks, they don't. What's that other saying? It just makes me, I don't know how relevant it is, but it makes me think about that saying, like when somebody comes to you and says, oh, yo, so-and-so said this about you.
Yeah.
Well, don't tell me about that. Tell me why they told you.
Yeah. Tell me why they told you, and tell me, did you come to my defense?
Right. And that makes me think of another one. A good friend is, because these are the nuggets that I collect. A good friend is somebody who talks good about you in a room that you're not in.
Yes. Yeah, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, all these things. And again, I love this when we decided to do this, break from the paycheck and the payroll and all that, just because it is about people at the end of the day. We, all this payments and money things that we do support people, right?
Yeah.
So I love that part of it, and we'll continue to do it. We try to do it once a month. I think we fell off. We got to make sure we do it once a month.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, give us feedback too. Reach out, let us know what you're thinking. You need any help out there? We
No,
can't
we've been
help with
consistent.
everything, but
We've been consistent. Like the last 2 months, I would say, the last 2 or 3
okay,
months, we've done it at least once a month. So
okay,
we're,
cool,
we're good, man. So,
cool.
but yeah, man. Anything you want to tell the people?
No,
Like, subscribe, all that stuff.
like, subscribe, share, engage, comment, man. Tell a friend and tell a friend, and yeah, man, keep on coming back, and that's it. We love you, folks.
Yeah.
Till the next time.
Peace.
You gotta see the YouTube version. We got Walt dancing.
All right, I'll
Can't
stop
wait
it,
to
bro.
do these shows like for real.